Morning, everyone. My name is Colin Massier, and this is Tutor Master. Guys, if you haven't subscribed yet, you are missing out. If I were you, I will visit Tutor Master on YouTube and hit the subscribe button now. Thank you. Right. Last time we were dealing with adding and subtracting of integers. Right. What about if you are multiplying them? What about if you are dividing them? Let's find out. Right. Number A says 6 multiplied by 2. So here, if you multiply them and the signs are positive, all of them are positive, then you should be happy because your product will be positive. 6 times 2 is 12 because both signs are positive. So this is the same thing when you divide them. You divide 6 by 2. Then the signs are positive. Both of them are positive. So the answer is 3 because both signs are positive. But pay attention here. Now the signs are not the same. You've got a negative and you've got a positive this side. Then, and you are multiplying. So the rule says if you are multiplying the signs that they've got a negative, please count those signs. How many negatives do you have? So for example, if the total is an odd number, let's say you're counting them and find an odd number, you find, for example, your answer is 1 or 3 or 7 or 9, then your product must have a negative sign. But if you count those negatives and find that the total of them is an even number, then the product should have a positive sign. For example, here, if you can count those negatives here, we're going to get an odd number because we've got 1. This side is a positive. Therefore, it means your product must have a negative sign, which is negative 9, because 3 times 3 is 9. So your answer is negative 9. The same applies when you divide, because multiplication and divisions are friends. So they have to take the same results, right? You count them again, those negatives, and find that find the what? An odd number, because you've got 1 negative side. This side is a positive. So 1 is an odd number. Then negative 9 divided by 3, you get negative 3. But check here. You've got negatives again. Count them. We've got 1 and 2. So this time around, we've got an even number. So once you get an even number, it means the product must have a what? A positive. Because you say negative 5 multiplied by negative 5, the answer is positive 25. The same applies when you divide. Let's say negative 5 divided by negative 5. We're going to count those negatives and find that there are 2 in total, which means you've got an even number. Therefore, the quotient must have a what? A positive 1, because negative 5 divided by negative 5 is 1. That's how we should do it. Why are we doing this? Because I said to you that these are basics. You ought to know them. For example, let's say you are calculating the value of x, and you calculate along, and somewhere you find that negative x is equal to negative 4, right? And you were asked to calculate the what? The value of x, not negative x. Then what are you going to do? That's where you are going to apply those rules, because you either multiply both sides by a negative 1 or divide both sides by negative 1. You are going to get the same answer. So, for example, this one, let's say you are multiplying it by negative 1 both sides. We say, okay, negative x multiplied by negative 1 is equal to negative 4 multiplied by negative 1. Then I said to you, once you see a negative and you're multiplying, count the number of negatives. Then this side, if you count them, we find a total of 2. For 2 negatives, which means that your x will remain positive now. Is equals to, you count the number of negatives, there are 2. 2 is an even number, then the answer is 4. Once you find an even number, your product should be having a positive. The same applies. Let's say you decide to divide by negative 1 instead of multiplying by negative 1. You're going to get the same answer here. You were supposed, say you take the division root. You'll say, okay, negative x divided by negative 1 is equals to minus 4 divided by negative 1. Okay? You count the number of negatives. There are 2. 2 is an even number. The value, you remain with x is equals to. Same applies here. You count the negatives. Even number, which is 2. Then the answer is 4. Okay? Allow me to call it a day. Thank you very much for watching. Let's meet again next time. Cheers.